Prayer is not just words spoken into the void. It is the most powerful action we can take to change our lives from the inside out. When we pray with our whole heart, we tap into a force that exists within us and connects us to everything around us. This is not magic or wishful thinking. It is a deep spiritual practice that has transformed countless lives throughout history, and it begins the moment we decide to truly pray. The act of prayer starts with a simple decision. We choose to believe that change is possible. We choose to believe that we have power within us that we have not yet fully used. Nichiren Daishonin taught that the heart of the Buddha's lifetime of teachings is the Lotus Sutra, and the heart of the practice of the Lotus Sutra is found in the Never Disparaging chapter. What does Bodhisattva Never Disparaging's profound respect for people signify? The purpose of the appearance in this world of Shakyamuni Buddha, the Lord of Teachings, lies in his behavior as a human being. This teaching shows us that the power we seek is already within us, waiting to be awakened through sincere practice. When we begin to pray, we are not asking an outside force to fix our problems. We are activating the Buddha nature that exists in our own lives. This is a crucial understanding. Prayer is not about dependency. It is about discovering our own strength. The Lotus Sutra teaches that all people possess the Buddha nature equally. This means that no matter who we are, where we come from, or what mistakes we have made, we have unlimited potential waiting to be revealed. Prayer is the key that unlocks this potential. Think of prayer as lighting a match in a dark room. Before the match is struck, everything seems impossible to navigate. We stumble and feel lost. But the moment that small flame appears, everything changes. We can see where we are and where we need to go. Prayer works the same way in our lives. It illuminates our path and shows us possibilities we could not see before. Nichiren wrote, "A sword is useless in the hands of a coward. The mighty sword of the Lotus Sutra must be wielded by one courageous in faith." This tells us that prayer requires courage and determination. We must be willing to face ourselves honestly and commit to change. The transformation that comes from prayer does not happen overnight, but it happens surely and steadily. When we pray each day with sincerity, we begin to notice changes in how we think and feel. Problems that seemed overwhelming become manageable. Relationships that were difficult start to improve. Opportunities that we never noticed before suddenly appear. This is not coincidence. This is the natural result of aligning ourselves with the fundamental rhythm of life through prayer. The universe operates on certain principles, just as a garden grows according to natural laws. When we plant seeds in good soil, water them regularly, and give them sunlight, they grow. We do not have to understand every detail of how photosynthesis works or how roots absorb nutrients. We simply need to follow the basic principles, and nature takes care of the rest. Prayer works in a similar way. When we pray with sincerity and determination, we plant seeds of positive change in the soil of our lives. The universe responds to this sincere effort. Nichiren Daishonin explained that Buddhism is reason. Reason will win over your Lord. This means that the practice of Buddhism, including prayer, is not blind faith. It is based on cause and effect. When we create the cause through sincere prayer and determined action, we will see the effect in our lives. This is a promise that has been proven true by millions of practitioners over centuries. The key is to pray with deep conviction and then take action based on that prayer. One of the most beautiful aspects of prayer is that it empowers us to transcend our limitations. We all have things that hold us back. Maybe we lack confidence. Maybe we have habits that hurt us. Maybe we face circumstances that seem impossible to change. These limitations feel very real, and they can trap us in cycles of suffering. But prayer gives us the power to break free from these cycles. The Lotus Sutra teaches about the 10 worlds, showing that we can change our life condition at any moment. Through prayer, we can shift from states of suffering to states of joy and freedom. Consider the story of Bodhisattva Never Disparaging from the Lotus Sutra. This Bodhisattva would bow to every person he met, telling them they had Buddha nature and would become Buddhas themselves. Many people mocked him, cursed him, and even attacked him, but he never stopped bowing and never stopped believing in their potential. Eventually, all those who had persecuted him recognized their own Buddha nature and attained enlightenment. This story teaches us that our sincere practice and belief in unlimited potential can overcome any obstacle, even the harshest opposition. When we pray sincerely, we are making a declaration to ourselves and to the universe. We are saying that we refuse to be defeated by our circumstances. We are claiming our right to happiness and fulfillment. Nichiren wrote, "Suffer what there is to suffer. Enjoy what there is to enjoy. Regard both suffering and joy as facts of life. And continue chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo no matter what happens." This guidance shows us that prayer is not about escaping from reality. It is about developing the strength to face reality with courage and win. The power of prayer lies in its ability to change us from the inside. When we pray deeply, we begin to see ourselves differently. We recognize strengths we did not know we had. We find wisdom to solve problems that seemed impossible. We develop compassion for ourselves and others. This internal transformation is the foundation for all external changes in our lives. Nichiren taught that if the minds of living beings are impure, their land is also impure. But if their minds are pure, so is their land. This means that our external reality reflects our internal state. By purifying and strengthening our hearts through prayer, we naturally create positive changes in our environment. Many people wonder how prayer actually works. How can focused intention and sincere chanting create real changes in our lives and circumstances? The answer lies in understanding that everything in the universe is connected. Modern physics has discovered that particles can be connected across vast distances, influencing each other instantly. Ancient Buddhist teachings explained this connection thousands of years ago. The concept of dependent origination teaches that nothing exists in isolation. Everything affects everything else. When we pray with determination, we send ripples of positive energy through this interconnected web of existence. Prayer also works by changing our perception and actions. When we pray for courage, we begin to notice opportunities to be courageous. When we pray for wisdom, we become more aware of the lessons in our experiences. When we pray for better relationships, we naturally become more considerate and understanding. The universe responds not just by changing external circumstances, but by awakening our ability to create the changes we seek. Nichiren wrote, "One's life is the most precious of all treasures. Even the treasures of the entire major world system cannot equal the value of one's body and life." This reminds us that we already possess the most valuable treasure, our own life, with its unlimited potential. The practice of prayer requires us to be specific about what we want to achieve while remaining open to how it manifests. We should pray with clear intention, but without rigid attachment to specific outcomes. This balance is important. If we are too vague in our prayers, we lack focus. If we are too rigid, we might miss opportunities that come in unexpected forms. The Lotus Sutra teaches about the concept of expedient means, showing that truth can manifest in many different ways depending on what is needed. Similarly, the answers to our prayers may come in forms we did not expect, but they will come if we pray sincerely and remain aware. Determination is a crucial element of effective prayer. Half-hearted prayer produces half-hearted results. Nichiren emphasized this repeatedly in his writings. He stated, "You must be determined to propagate the teaching of supreme perfect enlightenment, no matter what happens." While he was speaking about spreading Buddhism, this same determination applies to our personal prayers and goals. We must pray as if everything depends on it, because in many ways it does. Our determination fuels the transformation process. The beauty of prayer as a starting point is that it requires no special talent or ability. Anyone can pray. A child can pray. An elderly person can pray. Someone who is sick can pray. Someone who has made terrible mistakes can pray. Prayer is the great equalizer because it taps into the Buddha nature that exists equally in all people. Nichiren taught that even those who had committed grave offenses could attain enlightenment through sincere practice. This shows the unlimited power of prayer to transform any life, regardless of past circumstances. As we continue to pray day after day, we build what could be called spiritual momentum. Each prayer strengthens our life force and deepens our connection to our highest potential. It is like exercising a muscle. At first, change may seem slow, but with consistent practice, we become stronger, more resilient, and more capable. The victories we achieve through prayer give us confidence to tackle even bigger challenges. Our faith deepens as we see proof of the power of prayer in our own lives. The universe's response to sincere prayer is not always immediate or obvious. Sometimes we must continue praying through doubt and difficulty. This is where faith becomes essential. Nichiren wrote about the importance of faith, practice, and study. Faith gives us the conviction to keep praying even when we do not see immediate results. Practice is the actual act of prayer itself. Study helps us understand the principles behind our practice, strengthening our faith. These three work together to create unstoppable momentum toward transformation. It is also important to understand that prayer is not passive. After we pray, we must take action. The universe responds to our determination, but we must meet it halfway with effort. If we pray for better health but continue unhealthy habits, we create contradiction. If we pray for success but refuse to work hard, we block our own prayers. Nichiren taught that faith and practice must be accompanied by action in the real world. Prayer opens doors, but we must walk through them. The transformation that comes from sincere prayer extends beyond personal benefit. As we change and grow, we naturally have a positive impact on the people around us. Our courage inspires others. Our joy lifts others. Our victories show others what is possible. This creates ripples of positive change that spread far beyond our individual lives. The Lotus Sutra teaches that even one person practicing correctly can have enormous positive impact. This is because the Buddha nature in one person resonates with and awakens the Buddha nature in others. When we face our deepest fears and limitations through prayer, we discover something profound. We find that the person we were afraid we might be does not actually exist. Those limitations were illusions created by past experiences, negative thoughts, and lack of faith in ourselves. Through prayer, we peel away these false layers and discover our true self, which is unlimited, courageous, and capable of achieving anything. This discovery is liberation in its purest form. The relationship between sincere prayer and universal response is direct and reliable. This is not mystical thinking. It is a spiritual law as dependable as gravity. When we pray with our whole heart, focusing our life force on positive transformation, we set in motion forces that cannot help but create change. The key is sincerity. Mechanical prayer produces mechanical results. But prayer that comes from our deepest desire for growth and contribution to the world produces profound transformation. Our fullest potential is not some distant goal we might reach someday. It exists right now, waiting to be revealed through our practice. Every time we pray sincerely, we chip away at the barriers that hide this potential. Every determined prayer is a declaration that we will not settle for a limited version of ourselves. We will not accept defeat. We will not give up on our dreams. This determination, expressed through prayer, becomes the fuel for our transformation. The journey of transformation through prayer is both simple and profound. It is simple because anyone can start right now, wherever they are. It requires no special preparation or prerequisites. But it is profound because it leads to the deepest possible changes in our lives and consciousness. Through this practice, we do not just improve our circumstances. We become fundamentally different people, living from a place of strength, wisdom, and compassion. As we continue this practice throughout our lives, we discover that prayer is not just a tool we use occasionally. It becomes a way of life, a constant connection to our highest self, and the fundamental rhythm of the universe. In this state, we live with confidence, knowing that we have the power within us to overcome any obstacle and achieve any worthy goal. This is the promise of prayer as the catalyst for transformation, the starting point of unlimited human revolution.